Right now, three companies are literally reshaping how AI gets built and who gets to use it, and honestly, the winner isn't who you'd think. Hey, I'm Mark, and today we're breaking down the partnership wars happening behind the scenes at Anthropic, OpenAI, and Google, because this stuff matters way more than just who has the fanciest model. Let me set the scene. We're in 2026, and the AI landscape looks nothing like it did 2 years ago. Back in 2024, everyone was asking which company would build the smartest AI. Now the real question is completely different. Which company can lock in the best partnerships, the best funding, and the best relationships with the people actually building the future? And that's where things get really interesting. OpenAI started this whole wave, right? They had ChatGPT, they had the hype, they had Microsoft throwing tens of billions at them. But here's what's wild. By 2026, that partnership is showing some real friction. Microsoft wanted an AI copilot on every device, in every product, and OpenAI was like, yes, sure, but also we're making our own stuff and working with other people. That tension is real. OpenAI's been courting other partners. They're talking to Apple. They're working with different companies on different deals. The Microsoft money is still huge, but it's not the only thing keeping OpenAI alive anymore. And that changes the power dynamic. Meanwhile, Google never stopped being Google. They've got Android, they've got Chrome, they've got Gmail, they've got YouTube. The partnership wars for Google aren't about convincing people to use their AI. They're about embedding AI so deep into products billions of people already use that you can't even tell where Google ends and the AI begins. Gemini isn't just a chatbot. It's in your search results, it's in your workspace, it's in your phone. Google's partnership strategy is basically saying, we don't need to beat OpenAI at the chatbot game. We just need to make AI so useful in the things you already do that you never think about switching. That's actually a smarter long-term play. And by 2026, it's starting to pay off in ways that matter. But then there's Anthropic. And this is the plot twist nobody saw coming. Anthropic came into the game way later than OpenAI. They were smaller, they had less hype, they didn't have a massive tech giant bankrolling them right away. But they did something clever. They focused on safety, on constitutional AI, on being the company that actually thought carefully about how to build AI responsibly. And you know what? That became a partnership magnet. By 2026, Anthropic has partnerships with companies that care about doing things the right way. They've got deals with enterprises that specifically chose Anthropic because they trust the approach more. They've got Google's backing now through Vertex AI, which is huge, but they also maintained independence in a way that OpenAI and Google didn't quite manage. Here's where the partnership wars actually get decided. It's not about raw compute power or the smartest researchers anymore. It's about trust, it's about ecosystems, and it's about who can work with partners without losing their soul. OpenAI has the most partnerships on paper. Apple, Microsoft, different startups, different enterprises. But a lot of those partnerships feel transactional. OpenAI needs the money and the distribution, the partners need the technology, and that's the deal. It works, but it's fragile. If someone builds a better model or a cheaper alternative, some of those partnerships start to wobble. Google's partnerships are different. They're not really partnerships in the traditional sense, they're integrations. Google doesn't partner with YouTube, YouTube is Google. Google doesn't partner with Android, Android is Google. So when Google does partner with someone like Anthropic or works with enterprises on custom AI solutions, it's coming from a position of strength. Google can say, use our AI, or we'll just build it ourselves anyway. That's actually incredibly powerful in partnership negotiations, even if it sounds kind of ruthless. Anthropic is building partnerships from a position of principle. They're saying, we're not the biggest, we're not the richest, but we're the ones thinking hardest about doing this right. And in 2026, that resonates with a specific set of partners: universities, government agencies, companies that care about responsible AI, enterprises in regulated industries. That's a smaller pie than Google or OpenAI, but it's a pie they actually own. Now, let's talk about what these partnerships actually mean in practice. OpenAI's partnership with Apple is about bringing ChatGPT to iPhone and iPad. That's huge distribution, but it also means Apple gets to decide how and when their users interact with OpenAI. OpenAI doesn't control that relationship. Google's integration of AI into every product means Google controls the experience end-to-end, which is more powerful, but also means Google is responsible if something goes wrong. Anthropic's partnerships tend to be more focused on enterprise use cases where companies are paying specifically for Anthropic's approach and expertise. The partnership wars also aren't just about who works with who. It's about data. It's about whose models get trained on what. It's about whose AI gets to learn from real-world use. OpenAI's partnership with Microsoft means they get access to Azure data and infrastructure. Google's partnerships mean they get to see how people use AI across search, email, documents, and more. Anthropic's partnerships mean they get to work on specific, high-stakes problems where the quality of the AI really matters. That data advantage compounds over time. Here's my take on who's actually winning by 2026. Google is winning in the sense that they're embedding AI so deeply into everyday tools that they've basically won the distribution game. You don't need to choose Google's AI, you're just using it automatically. That's the ultimate partnership win. OpenAI is winning in the sense that they've become the default for people who specifically want a standalone AI tool, and they've got enough partnerships to survive even if one of them falls apart. Anthropic is winning in a narrower but deeper way. They're winning the trust of people and organizations that specifically care about responsible AI, and that's a position that gets stronger over time, not weaker. But here's the thing that nobody's really talking about. The real winner in the partnership wars might be whoever successfully partners with the next generation of AI developers and researchers. By 2026, there's a whole new wave of people building AI tools on top of these platforms, and whoever builds the best ecosystem for that community wins long-term. OpenAI has some of that with their API and their developer community. Google has some of that through Vertex AI and their cloud platform. Anthropic is still building that out. Whoever nails this gets the next decade. The partnership wars are also getting weirder. You've got companies that were competitors now working together because they need each other. You've got companies that should be natural partners avoiding each other because of conflicts of interest. You've got startups trying to play multiple sides. By 2026, the line between partnership and competition has basically dissolved. Everyone's working with everyone else while also trying to make sure they don't become dependent on anyone. So if I had to predict who wins the partnership wars, I'd say it depends on what you mean by winning. If you mean who becomes the default AI for most people, Google's already ahead and pulling further. If you mean who becomes the most trusted AI platform, Anthropic's got momentum. If you mean who stays independent and flexible, OpenAI's doing okay, but they're getting pulled in too many directions. The real story here isn't that one company wins and the others lose. It's that the AI industry is fragmenting into different niches, and each of these companies is winning in their own niche. That's actually healthier for everyone, including you, because it means there's real competition and real choice instead of one company owning everything. The partnership wars aren't over. If anything, they're just getting started. By 2026, we're going to see partnerships that seem crazy today become normal tomorrow. We're going to see companies betting on different horses and either winning big or losing everything. And the companies that win are going to be the ones that figured out how to work with partners without losing control of their own destiny. If you want to keep up with how these wars actually play out and what it means for the future of AI, hit that subscribe button. We break down this stuff every week, and honestly, it gets more interesting, not less. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.